How many people do you think smile today in this kind of busy cities? How many people wore colorful clothes in these cities? Why is my city and also many other cities in the world so sad? What can an artist do to heal this problem? What if there were some more happy spots when you're going back home from work? What can an artist do to heal this problem, this contemporary problem of the world? Here you can see the picture of, it's the 3D model of the BAM in Iran, and we can see how our ancient cities had harmony, had blue skies, and are very functional. How can an artist revive the bygone harmony of these kind of cities? Or give the beautiful colors that once we had in the architecture. Now everything is almost gray, like me, like our cities, unfortunately. Look, here's one of the sample cities in the Middle East. I think it's Cairo. And after World War II, many third world countries, unfortunately, became victims of rapid westernization following the European modernism. And they lose their traditional characters and they became all similar. I mean, if we didn't have this minaret in one of these mosques in the background, you could imagine it would be Tehran or any other cities in the Middle East. In 1966, it was the root of the problem of Tehran. Let me explain you a bit. In 1966, very famous Austrian commercial architect proposed a design for Tehran. He was famous because he introduced commercial and big and gigantic shopping malls into American cities. So I think Iranian authority invited him to give a proposal, and he called Tehran an ideal city to become an automobile society. So it was the root of the problem of Tehran today. And here you can see Tehran. I mean, a city that really needs joy, blue sky, and harmony in it. And you can see, unfortunately, especially this year, we had something like, so far, we had something like 90 polluted days in Tehran. And we lost many of our friends, I mean, our citizens during these pollutions. What can an artist do to heal this city? Where is the public green space? Where is the blue sky? How I can teach my daughter this is the sky, you know? For example, my daughter, it's because of global warming, but she's asking me, Daddy, let's go make snowmen. But I think we don't have snow anymore in Tehran, actually. This year we had something like 2 centimeters. So our cities are changing, and we need to raise awareness for public, for people, to do our activist projects, to raise the awareness of our politicians. And my statement 12 years ago that I started to do public art projects was that almost 15 million or 20 million people are living in Tehran. What if I can save only 5 seconds of their lives and distract them from thinking about their problems? How many heart attacks I can save, you know? People, their visual memory is full of, bad images. Famine 100 years ago, cope, corruption, revolution, war. So I need to do something positive for this city. And it was my first project in Tehran. Here you can see the empty wall. And this is my painting. And I brought the blue sky to Tehran, which it was absent. I painted these green public spaces that once animated every corner of Tehran. Here you can see how these murals became part of daily life of people in Tehran. And I painted this painting in Vanak Square, and now is one of the main squares for people to do demonstrations, to hold ceremonies, and I'm very happy that this mural became part of their visual memories. Here's my proposal, recently proposal, and they rejected this because you can. It's very political, in my opinion. I just wanted to show this because I really like this idea. And here you can see another couple of dead walls, gray walls, and you can see how architecture is very crazy in Tehran. And here it was my proposal for these walls, because it was supposed to be the bicycle line around these walls. And here is the painted version. And wherever I paint them, they grant some kind of iconic identity to the city. And people, for example, when they want to meet each other, they say that, come to the cyclist wall, and it's very good for me, actually. And you can see I used the picture of the people who they are living around these walls, just to give them character, hope, to feel importance, that they are now, part of their city, and I gave their share of the city back. You can see the scale of these walls. And here's another example of the murals which I did in Tehran. I tried to use the front facade of the building to create more harmony. And personally, I like to use curved lines because of this psychological effect of this kind of curved lines in a city like Tehran. And also, I used blue color in a psychological way to calm down people, Here you can see another picture of this wall. And even on figures, I tried to use happy figures to create playful landscapes. And here you can see another wall. I tried to use architectural problems that you can see, for example, these windows, and also this imbalance in the design of this building as an advantage to create my own space inside the space. Okay, here's the first one, first wall that I saw in Tehran when I went to Tehran to register my name in the University of Art. And I thought, oh, someday I should replace it. And it was my painting. And in some kind of subtle personal activism, I tried just to push these walls, because the municipality of Tehran, unfortunately, is selling the right of sky. You can pay more and you can build more floors on your building. Here's another example to revive the area. This is located near the Grand Bazaar, and you can see how messy is this buildings. And here is my painting. I tried to use historical paintings of Qajar period, and you can see first automobile imported to Iran. You can see first balloon we've sent to sky, and you can see this gentleman bringing drinking water to the city. All of them had something like second, third, fourth layer in behind to connect to people. And after 6 years, I decided to come back to my studio, because I felt that it's enough, Mehdi. You did a lot. You need to update your visual memories, and your works are going to be similar to each other. And I really like to come back to my studio, and you should see my works, in my opinion, because to imagine the relationship between my works and the city and the situation that I'm living as a man in the Middle East, also as a citizen of the world. Because when I'm looking to the news, I feel like I'm an American, and this election is mine. When I'm looking at the news, I feel that I'm a refugee. So what should I do in my life? I can say these are more, related to me in the world, not especially in Iran. And eerie scenes behind these paintings came from my subconscious As a child grown up during the years of Iran-Iraq war, and also my father was soldier in the front line, and we were waiting for him always, actually, in a very, crowded family. You can see some details of these paintings. Here's another painting of mine. I usually took them to the rooftop and take my photos there. This painting is now with the National Museum of China, and I'm very happy because my works, I think, philosophically are close to Eastern philosophy. And here's another painting of mine inspired by the view of my window, actually, because I'm living in the western area, suburb of Tehran, and you can see lots of skyscrapers recently mushroomed in this city because of the government's plan to create egalitarian and fair society. And it was during the years of our president Ahmadinejad. And lots of them now are blank, and they created lots of visual problems and lots of other mental problems, social problems, because they don't have enough public space, they don't have enough parks, they don't have enough educational centers, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buildings. And you can see also the impact of living in this kind of situation, in this kind of world, that when you turn on your TV or your news channel, you can see lots of different stress. Here is the detail of my painting. And this is another one. For me, it's despair and hopeful at the same time, This kid is, playing and enjoying despite lots of problems that surrounded her. And while I was doing my personal projects, I received a call from Boston after 5 years of not doing any public art projects, and they asked me to do the mural on this wall. I loved this wall because of the dome shape of it, and the first thing came to my mind when I saw this shape, it was that, it reminded me the blue domes of historical buildings and mosques in Iran. And I thought that I can use this kind of, inspiration sources in this painting. Also, the oculus in the Pantheon came to my mind. So I decided what I'm gonna do in terms of structure and the shape, but the concept was problem. What should I paint to connect to the people of America, to connect with immigrants, to give hope to the city like Boston, which was in a very, I can say, disappointed situation, because Boston was a blue state and they were worried about election. And also Boston experienced this tragic Boston bombing event during the marathon. So I felt that Boston needs healing from this situation. And the news was full with the images of refugees that they were also in search of spaces of hope, and they were in search of utopia, and I wanted to give them a utopia. While I was thinking about the concept of the work, because it was very important, bridging Iran to America and involve all the countries in between, I remembered the French movie Red Balloon, which shows the story of hope it's in Paris. It shows the story of hope in an European cities after World War II, and I felt that it's very inspiring. And all of these sources of inspirations came to my mind someday as I was doing my sketches. And I was very happy because it was a very big challenge for me, and I was working for a couple of months on this project. And here is me painting on the wall, and you can see the scale of the wall. And here is me, and I was happy because the mural was finishing, and here is the finished wall. I named this Spaces of Hope because I thought we need hope, American people need hope, immigrants, Mexican immigrants need hope, and and everybody can connect to this painting through their own personal story. And here you can see how this mural is working from different angles. Because I like to be an architecture, but I was not good in mathematics and memorizing things, so I became painter. But I became some kind of virtual architecture. And you can see how people and the way that they are standing in the queues in the Boston inspired me to use their figures and their pictures in this kind of composition. And you can see lots of pictures that people from Boston are sending me every day. And you can see other artists also have their own interpretations to the work, and it became a good context to do some works with it. And you can see, I think it's related to, what's happening today here, that they are using my painting on their demonstrations, on their placards. And they really liked this painting because of their very many kind messages that I received from in my social media. Let me leave you with this one. It was very sad but hopeful for me. Someone just wrote it on my social media. My father has Alzheimer's. Every time I walk by this, I will be hopeful that a cure is found so we can eliminate this terrible disease. Thank you.